Hi, this is Josh with the Big Tomato. Spring is in the air, and with this beautiful weather comes lots of bugs. I want to give you a few tips to help you deal with the most common pests that are going to infiltrate your garden this spring. Alright, number one, we have the infamous spider mite. Spider mites are a plant-sucking pest. They look like a miniature spider, and they basically suck the life out of your plant like a vampire. They pierce each individual plant cell and suck the juice out of it. Over time, they will kill your plants. So you have to be proactive. You have to learn how to identify them. You're looking for small freckling on lower leaves, little tiny white spots. It looks like somebody basically just pierced that cell and sucked it dry. Once you see those signs, turn the leaf upside down and look for any little critters crawling around that are about the size of the head of a pin. So very small. You may need a small magnifying glass to identify them. Once you do so, how you treat them is going to depend on what stage of growth that you're in. If you are in an early vegetative state and you haven't started to develop fruit or flower yet, you're going to want to use a number of different products. What I find to be most effective is Beethoven right here. Beethoven is a total release canister. It's meant to release the can into your entire environment. This is one of the only products that will target spider mite eggs. Very effective, but only to be used in early vegetative or very early flowering. Another great organic method of treating spider mites would be using a combination of SM90, which is coriander oil, along with Azabax right here, which is azadirachtin. It's an extract of neem oil. These are both OMRI certified organic. What they do is the SM90 works to strip the oils off the back of the mite, causing them to dehydrate and die. It is also surfactant and penetrant, so when you spray on your Azabax, it's going to make it evenly coat all of your leaf surface, so it's going to be a lot more effective. And then the azatrol works as an anti-feed and an anti-molten, so your plants will, or your spider mites will stop breeding, and they will no longer be able to feed on your plants, so they'll slowly just die off, and hopefully the problem will fade away. This usually takes 3 applications. Dilution ratio of 1 cup of SM90 to 1 tablespoon of azatrol per gallon of water. Alright, number 2 on the most common pest list would be the fungus gnat. Fungus gnats look like small fruit flies. They'll be flying around your plant kind of like they're drunk, not in any particular direction. They lay little larvae that will go down and eat the tips of your growing root shoots, and that will deter from the health of your plant. So they definitely want to be treated and avoided if possible. The number 1 treatment I'd recommend using would be the yellow sticky strips here. These are basically pads full of sticky material. Once you open them up, the fungus gnats are attracted to that yellow color. Once they land on it, they cannot fly off. Therefore, they cannot go out laying more larvae, and it gets you the ability to get control over the problem. Next in line would be beneficial nematodes. These are small predatory nematodes that actually will search out the larva of the fungus gnat and host on them and get to your problem at the source, the roots. Next in line, you have another predator, but this is a bacteria predator. The bacteria will basically give the nematode larva an infection, causing them to get sick and die. This one is a very concentrated one. Microblift, you're only using it at 1 drop per 10 gallons, so it's very effective. Also effective for mosquitoes if you have a small body of water on your property. Last in line, if none of these products have proven to be effective, we get a little bit more powerful on them. SNS 203 is a concentrate of several essential oils. Rosemary, cinnamon, clove, to name a few. These are proven very effective, and these are used as a root drench to make your root zone an uninhabitable environment for the fungus gnat. Alright, the final threat to our garden, the final pest threat, is going to be powdery mildew. Powdery mildew usually comes in when you have a high humidity in your room, tend to be usually over 50%. During rainstorms in Colorado, luckily we have a very arid climate, so it's not a huge issue, but rainstorms or a lack of ventilation in your room can cause this problem. Once you do have it, it can spread like wildfire, so you have to be very proactive. And what you're looking for is a fine, powdery substance that basically is going to be coating your leaves of your plants. It'll start from the bottom leaves like most things and work its way up. But you have to be proactive and be very attentive in looking in your garden, because once it starts its infiltration, you're going to have a battle on your hands. The first treatment that I like to recommend, and the most effective treatment by far, this is generally more for larger scale gardeners, but it would be a sulfur evaporator. The sulfur works to change everything in that area to an alkaline, which will render the spores inert, so they'll no longer be effective. But powdery mildew spores travel on air currents, so once you have it, it is in your entire environment. This will be able to treat your entire environment. And this is your sulfur evaporator right here. It's a small canister that you plug in your room. You hang it about 18 inches from the top of your ceiling above your plants, and put a 1/4 inch of prill in my cup. My prill is this product right here. It's a pure elemental sulfur. Like I said, I'll put a 1/4 inch of that prill in my cup. I will put that into my evaporator, and I'll run it on a timer for approximately 2 to 3 hours, depending on the size of your growing environment. Keeping my air movement fans operating, making sure this evaporated sulfur is reaching every exposed surface in that room. Get later into flowering, and you have heavy fruit or flower set. You want to be careful with what you apply on your garden, because most things that treat powdery mildew will leave a residue on your plant, which can affect the end quality of your fruit or flowers. Once you get that heavy fruit set, you're going to want to try using PM wash. PM wash is going to leave you with very little residual, and it is going to also treat your plant by giving it an alkalized coating. However, when you do treat with PM wash, you have to understand that you are only treating your plant, you're not treating your entire environment, so you may have to do repeat applications to keep the powdery mildew at bay. I appreciate you watching our short video. I hope our tips have been helpful. Just know that there are hundreds of pests that can infiltrate your garden over the summer. We would love to help you solve this problem. Just identify the pest or bag it up and bring it down here, and we will help you find the solution to your problem. Thanks, and have a great day. Come see us at the Big Tomato.